There are more than 35,000 people inside the FBI. Only one of them sits in the office on the 7th floor. Only one of them gets called director. In 35 years, that is going to be you. You will brief presidents. You will hold a power almost no one in America has. The power to open an investigation into anyone, no matter how rich, no matter how untouchable, no matter who they think they are. But that is not where it starts. It starts with a parked car, a door that won't open, and a 22-year-old who has no idea what they just signed up for. This is every single step from the very bottom of the FBI to the very top. Watch closely, because if you miss one, you never make it to the 7th floor. Let's begin. You're 22 years old. Most people your age are figuring out their first apartment, their first real paycheck, their first hangover that actually scares them. You're standing on a strip of cracked asphalt in the Virginia woods, a duffel bag at your feet, staring up at 3 letters carved into a wall of glass and concrete. FBI. You don't know it yet, but you will not leave this organization until you are the one running it. This is how it happens. Wait.
Age 22. The FBI Academy doesn't care who you were before. Valedictorian, college athlete, Marine, accountant. At Quantico, everybody starts at 0. They hand you a class number, a roommate, and 21 weeks of hell. You run before sunrise. You learn to shoot a Glock until the recoil feels like a handshake. You spend your afternoons in a fake town called Hogan's Alley, where paid actors rob fake banks, and you learn the hard way how fast a routine arrest turns into a gunfight. You study the Constitution until the 4th Amendment lives in your bones, because the day you forget it is the day a guilty man walks free. Half your class washes out. Injuries, the polygraph, people who realize quietly at 2 in the morning that this isn't the life they actually wanted. You make it. On graduation day, they hand you a badge, a set of credentials, and the one thing they can never take back, the title, Special Agent. You are now the youngest person in your field office. Remember that feeling. You will not be the youngest anything for very long. Age 23. They send you where the work is ugly, because that's where they send everybody new. A big city field office. A violent crime squad. Bank robberies, kidnappings, fugitives, gangs. Your first 6 months, you do nothing but paperwork and surveillance. You sit in a parked car for 14 hours eating gas station food, watching a door that never opens. This is the part the movies skip. 90% of this job is patience, and the Bureau is quietly testing whether you have it. Then, one night, the door opens. The man you've been watching for 3 weeks walks out with a duffel bag, and you make your first arrest with your own 2 hands. Your heart is pounding so hard you can hear it. He's in cuffs in under a minute. Clean. By the book. You go home, and you can't sleep. And you realize something that scares you a little. You would do this for free. Age 25. By now you've worked enough cases to know what kind of agent you want to be. The Bureau has dozens of paths. Public corruption, organized crime, white collar, cyber, counterintelligence, counterterrorism. You pick the one that keeps you up at night for the right reasons. You get assigned to the Joint Terrorism Task Force, a room full of FBI agents, local cops, and federal partners who do not go home until the threat is gone. You learn a new language, sources, intercepts, patterns. You learn that the best case you ever work is the one nobody will ever hear about because you stopped it before it happened. You also learn the cost. You miss birthdays. You miss a funeral. The person you're dating doesn't understand why you can never talk about your day, ever. And eventually, they leave. The Bureau gives you a lot. It also quietly takes. Age 28. Every career has one. The case that's too big for the agent you currently are. The one you have to grow into in real time. For you, it's a cell. 3 men, a plan, and a deadline you don't know. For 96 hours, you barely sleep. You connect a phone number to a storage unit, to a face on a camera. You're the one who sees it. You're the one who says the word that moves 100 people into position. When it's over, no headline runs. No camera shows up. But upstairs, in a quiet office, your special agent in charge writes your name down. The Bureau remembers the ones who can carry weight. That's how you go from being a good agent to being a name. Age 30. The promotion comes with a catch, and the catch is Washington. To climb in the FBI, sooner or later, you have to do your time at headquarters. The J. Edgar Hoover Building, a gray concrete fortress on Pennsylvania Avenue. You become a supervisory special agent, and for the first time, the people working the cases are working for you. It's a strange kind of grief, the day you realize you're no longer the one kicking down the door. Now you're the one who signs off on the door being kicked down. You manage people. You manage budgets. You sit in meetings that decide which threats the country can afford to chase and which ones it can't. Some agents hate this. They miss the street. They ask to go back, and that is an honorable career. But you discover something about yourself. You're good at the bigger board. You can see the whole map now, not just your corner of it. That is the difference between an agent and a leader. Age 33. You go back to the field, but you don't go back the same. Assistant Special Agent in charge. You are now second in command of an entire field office, hundreds of agents, and every case they touch. A young agent walks in, 23 years old, terrified, and trying hard not to show it. You recognize the look because it was yours 11 years ago. So you tell them the things somebody once told you. Trust the training. Slow down. And never, ever lie in a report. The job is no longer about the cases you close. It's about the agents you build. Age 36. They give you a field office of your own. Special agent in charge. Your name on the door. 56 field offices cover the United States. And now, one of them answers to you. Corruption, gangs, terrorism, fraud, whatever happens in your territory is yours. When something goes right, the credit goes to your people. When something goes wrong, the blame stops at you, and only you. That's the deal you signed. You'd sign it again. You stand at the morning briefing and look out at the room, and for the first time, you understand. They are not just agents. They are somebody's daughter, somebody's father, somebody who is going to go home tonight, or, God forbid, not. Their safety is your math now. You will carry that math for the rest of your career. Age 40. You return to Washington, and this time, you don't leave. Deputy Assistant Director. Then, Section Chief over an entire program. The work is no longer measured in arrests. It's measured in strategy. Which countries are stealing what? Which technologies will define the next war? What the Bureau needs to look like in 10 years, when the threats you're seeing today are fully grown. You testify in closed sessions on Capitol Hill. You brief people whose names you cannot repeat. And you learn that real power in this city isn't loud. It's the quiet ability to be in the room and tell the truth when everyone else is busy managing it. Age 43. You're given a division, Assistant Director. One of the people who run the FBI's major branches: counterterrorism, counterintelligence, cyber, criminal investigations. Thousands of agents and analysts under your command, answering directly to the Bureau's top executives. When there's an attack, a breach, a crisis on the news, you are the one in the command post at 3 in the morning, with the lights blazing and the whole country waiting for answers. You don't get to be tired. You don't get to look uncertain in front of your people. You make the call with incomplete information, because incomplete information is the only kind a crisis ever gives you. And then, you live with it. You are very far from that kid at Quantico now, but you still run before sunrise. Some things you keep. Age 47. Executive Assistant Director. You now oversee not one division, but an entire branch of the Bureau. Multiple divisions answer to you. You sit on the small leadership team that steers the whole organization. At this level, the job becomes almost philosophical. What is the FBI actually for? Where does national security end, and where do civil liberties begin? You spent a lifetime with a badge and a gun, and the higher you climb, the more you understand that the most important weapon you carry is restraint. A free country does not need an FBI that can do anything. It needs one that does the right thing. The agents below you don't know your name yet. The ones above you are starting to. Age 50. Associate Executive Assistant Director. And then the call you never let yourself hope for. Deputy Director. The Deputy Director runs the FBI day to day. It is the highest position you can reach by climbing. Every rank above the street you have now held. 35,000 people, a budget in the billions, 56 field offices, and more than 60 offices overseas. All of it crosses your desk. You report to one person now, and one day, that person's term comes to an end. It comes on an ordinary afternoon, a number you recognize, a voice you've only ever heard on television. The President of the United States is asking you to become the Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And for 1 second, you are 22 again, standing on cracked asphalt in the Virginia woods, a duffel bag at your feet, looking up at 3 letters, with no idea what's coming. You say yes. It isn't automatic. The director isn't just promoted. The director is nominated by the President and confirmed by the United States Senate for a single term of up to 10 years. The length is deliberate. It is built to outlast presidents, so that whoever runs the FBI answers to the law and not to politics. You sit at a long table under hot lights and you raise your right hand. Senators question your record. Every case, every call, every hard decision across 3 decades. You answer all of it, because you have nothing to hide, because you spent your entire career making sure of that. The vote comes in. Confirmed. They walk you up to the office on the 7th floor of the building you first entered as a 30-year-old supervisor who missed the street. Now the whole building is yours. You are the director of the FBI. The person every agent in the country ultimately answers to. The person who sits across from presidents and tells them what they don't want to hear. The person whose signature can open the most serious investigation in the nation and whose conscience is the last line between power and its abuse. You think about the kid at Quantico. You think about the door that finally opened on a violent crime squad 30 years ago. You think about the case at 28 that nobody ever heard about. You think about the agents who didn't make it home, the ones whose names are carved into a wall downstairs, and every single morning you make them a quiet promise. You lead through quiet years and loud ones, attacks, scandals, days the whole country is angry at you, and days they will never know you saved them. You hold the line. Fidelity, bravery, integrity. They were never just words carved over a door. They were the job. And then, one day, it's time. Maybe your term ends. Maybe you decide the Bureau needs new blood. Either way, you walk out the front doors of the J. Edgar Hoover building for the last time. No parked car, no surveillance, no duffel bag. Just you and 35 years and the sound of your own footsteps. That same week, a new class is graduating at Quantico. 22-year-olds with no idea what's coming. One of them is standing exactly where you stood. And one of them, maybe, will end up exactly where you ended up. You started as the youngest person in the room. You're leaving as the one they all looked up to. Most people go their whole lives and never find the thing they do for free. You found yours at 22, on a strip of cracked asphalt, staring up at 3 letters. Fidelity, bravery, integrity. Case closed.